Welcome back to my Dream CRF450RL Supermoto build series. This is episode 3, but first, let me catch you up to speed. In episode 1, we took my already built Supermoto, stripped it down to a bare frame, and set a bunch of parts out to be powder coated. In episode 2, while we waited for those parts to return from powder coating, we prepped a bunch of other parts. We degreased and cleaned the motor, polished the exhaust, and prepped a ton of other parts. And now, here we are, episode 3. All the parts have returned from powder coating and it's finally time to start reassembling the bike. First up, it was time to tackle the forks. I really wanted to put the front end of the bike together before I threw it up on the stand, so off camera I went ahead and tossed on the triple clamps, as well as new bearings, and I also gonna handle the forks. So I took my old CMT carbon fiber covers off, put on a pair of fork shrinks, and then put the carbon fiber covers back over top. Now the reason I did that is because there's a gap in the back of the carbon fiber covers, so I wanted to use the fork shrinks to black out the full forks. Of course, I'd use Racetech titanium full titanium bolts on the front, as well as toss some new X-Trig decals on the clamps. After I got the bike up on the stand, it was time to tackle the suspension linkage. In episode 2, I showed you guys what the suspension linkage looked like after 500 hours, and then also how it looked after I sandblasted and fully rebuilt the linkage. And now that I'm putting this fresh linkage back on the bike, it looks amazing. After I got the linkage handled, it was time to tackle the swing arm and the rear shock. Before I threw the swing arm on, I pressed some fresh bearings into it. After I got the rear suspension and the swing arm on the bike, it was time to go ahead and throw the motor back in the frame. But first, I had to go ahead and sand off some of the powder coat from the motor mounts and the wiring harness grounds. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be a lot harder to get the motor back in the frame, but it actually went in a lot easier than it came out. After I got the motor adjusted in the frame, it was time to toss on these super sick CMT carbon motor mounts. As well as toss on a fresh VIN sticker on the newly powder coated frame. I also ordered a full titanium bolt kit for the clutch side of the motor from Racetech Titanium. Man, those titanium bolts do not disappoint. After I got the motor locked in where I wanted it, it was time to go ahead and put the swing arm bolt through. I thought this was going to be a lot harder than it was, but luckily it lined up and went through way easier than I thought. Now that I got that swing arm bolt through, it's time to fully torque the motor to spec. So I torqued the swing arm bolt and all the motor mounts. I've been absolutely dreading this moment ever since I took the bike apart, and that is putting the wiring harness back on, because I knew for a fact that I probably wasn't going to be able to figure out the exact location Honda routed it, as well as all the brackets they had on there. So I knew it was going to take me a while. I decided to take a break from messing with the wiring harness. I was getting pretty frustrated, so I went ahead and tossed on the kickstand, both foot pegs, and the chain guard and guide. After taking the harness as well as the subframe on and off the bike multiple times trying to figure out how that harness went on the bike, I finally got it. And it was finally time to go ahead and start locking down the subframe and torquing everything up. I also went ahead and tossed a fresh 13-tooth sprocket on the front and torqued it to spec. Next up, I want to go ahead and toss these freshly powder coated radiators on the bike, as well as connect all the hoses. Once I got the radiators hooked up, I went ahead and did some small things on the bike, like tossed a fresh air filter in, as well as a fresh spark plug. Alright guys, well that is going to be it for episode 3 of the CRF450RL Supermoto build video. In episode 4, we're going to go ahead and toss some fresh plastics on this bike, toss the gas tank on, toss the wheels on, and pretty much finish up this bike. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for episode 4.